Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blockchain Community Day 2023. It's our fourth day, and I hope you are enjoying the program. Before we begin, please let me share some quick information. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be available in a week after a session. The talk will last 45 minutes, and the session features a speech from our guests and a Q&A session at the end. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our speaker, Sasha Pitkevich, who is going to talk to us about data ownership revolution in the AI world. You may already know Sasha because she's the host of this event and the creator of Blockchain Professionals Community. Sasha is leading EPAM blockchain and Web3 practice and is an active member of the World Crypto Community. She advises startups, participates in hackathons, and frequently presents at various events. Please join me in welcoming Sasha.
Thank you, Marta, for nice introduction. And I hope that people can see my presentation already, right? Yes.
It's loading for
And
me. Yeah.
yes, let's start, guys. Choosing my topic for this conference, I selected the most important and most relevant for me subject. Working many years in Web3 and focusing on Web3 mass adoption, and witnessing what happens recently with the generative AI and how literally everyone has started to be involved, I couldn't pass that phenomenon. And naturally started to think how these two adoption waves will coexist. But first, let's start from the far angle where both technologies connect to each other, from the data point of view. With the increasing amount of the data that is streamed and processed daily, many companies have realized non-traditional and innovative ways to use this information, such as data monetization. Data monetization is the process where a company or business generated data is used to create a measurable economic benefits. This can include selling data to third parties, direct monetization, or using data internally to improve processes or realize new innovative opportunities. Indirect monetization. When the data, like now, with the emergence of generative AI, the possibilities to derive value from the data set grew enormously. It's where the biggest improvement happened actually recently. By applying AI powered algorithms to the data set, you can better connect it, you can better analyze it, and the ways you can use it actually grows. AI creates bigger and better opportunities for data monetization. It motivates industry players to invest in it, and it creates the bigger demand for data. For example, let's take the manufacturing industry. As manufacturers consider new use cases, the need for third party data increases. It makes data, both volume and variety, more valuable on data exchanges. The broader, the better connected, the more detailed is the data set, the more value can be produced using it. And keep in mind that it's not the generative AI model that has a value. The model is built using the data. The value is in the data itself. And the productivity of using it more effectively to produce insights, content, or other commercial benefits. Most of the companies are starting and growing their data collections and collecting a connection frequently, they explore the possibilities to connect the already existing data with the new source of the data, and also they build logic around this. And while gathering data of such a breadth, they're logically touching the space, uh, like connecting data in between businesses, in between companies, raising the question of whose data is this? And it is not such a simple question to answer. You could imagine where the information about your geographical locations, about your consumption of the services, about the usage of the certain products and historical usage is collected. That's partially your data, partially the seller data, partially the OEM data, And that's almost impossible now to tell who owns the data. Currently, that's like who collects the nodes. Uh, but now, let's put aside the commercial situation where, like, I hope that's more or less clear for you, and let's look at the uh, public situation in a public space. ChatGPT has been all over the news lately, quickly becoming one of the most well-known large language models, LLMs. LLMs are deep learning models that can generate textual content. They can generate summaries, essays, advertising, simply produce answers to the questions in a text form. And based on the, and they do that based on also the textual information. And well, basically, the ChatGPT is not only the LLM. You may also know about the DeepMind's Gopher, Google's BERT and T5, and also Microsoft Turing NLG. But all those models, they require massive volumes of the high quality and diverse data for pre-training. And pre-training means that you train the model to do one task to help it from the minimal parameters that it can use what is derived to solve the downstream tasks. And currently, you have only like two main options for obtaining data to pre-train your LLM. Uh, there are open source data sets and there are commercial data sets. One of the most popular free sources of the web data is Common Crawl. Uh, uh, you'll find very few common crawl competitors. However, other sources of the public web data, they include the Wikipedia database, Hugging Face, and Kaggle. But let's focus on the main one. What is Common Crawl? It's an open source repository of non-curated web crawl data going back to 2008. It contains petabytes of data obtained by crawling billions of the web pages with trillions of links. The Common Crawl dataset is currently stored on Amazon, and it's a popular data source for training language models like ChatGPT. Uh, the Common Crawl organization, they realize they release new sets of the data every 1-2 months, and each file usually contains several billions of the web pages. Uh, and there's a commercial alternative to that, that Webs.io, and it's a platform that extracts and formats data from the sources across the open, dark, and deep web. They supply the data in a form of the structured feeds you can integrate into other platforms using their data APIs. The feeds come in JSON, XML, and CSV formats, and the platform provides predefined data verticals as news, blogs, forums, and reviews. And nearly also like all the data and all stacks goes back to the same 2008. And and they provide data from the government websites, but not that is important. The important thing is what data is that? Like, let's look at that. What's data? That's the websites and that's the social media. That's the posts, commentaries, that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's all the data we and our businesses have created since 2008. That's our data, our content, which is being scrapped and being used to train artificial intelligence. And in many cases, those services are provisioned to us on a commercial basis. Uh, and like, you don't feel the strange thing. Like, you create the data, and then the data is used to sell you the services. Well, first of all, the first question which comes to the mind, how legal is that? And looking quickly through the licenses of the most of the common social media, uh, we will find out that you own the content you post in social media, but you've given each platform a license to use it as it spelled out in their terms and conditions. The licenses are slightly different from each other, but all of them grant the social media platform the right to use your copyrighted work in whatever way they see fit. Theoretically, they could exploit it commercially and even sell or sublicense their license to the third party to use. And as each social media specifies, uh, and the license is royalty free, which means that you would never receive any part of the profit. And you cannot really do anything with that. Okay, with social media, that's clear. Like you gave that out. Uh, then, uh, what about the web crawl data? So the data which is scraped from the websites. Uh, Also, the usage of this data is legal. Scraping publicly available information on the web uh, in an estimated way is legal as long as the scraped data is not used for any harmful purposes and is not damaging the website's business or operations. And when the personal identifiable information, PI, is not included or masked. So we are quickly coming to the situation that is fully legal. And at that moment, I would like you to realize that we are now on a blockchain conference and would like to remind you one of the concepts we're speaking about, Web 3. The idea behind this is the idea of demonopolized, free, and better internet, which operates using incentives and economic mechanisms instead of relying on a trusted third parties. The internet based on a transparent economic relations in between content and service providers and consumers. Well, I guess most of the audience know what the Web3 is, and I'm switching to the the logical conclusion page. So we want a new, free, demonopolized, and trustless internet. We want those economical relations. We want to be rewarded fairly for our content. We want a fair ownership and monetization of that. And at the same time, we'd like to use artificial intelligence, which is created on a basis of the content, which is trained on the basis of the content we create. Voilà. And thanks to the guys from the big data, we already know that the data is the new currency. Well, if you will think about that, it's very, very logical. What I would like to add to this statement is looking to the challenge here, where we would like the Web3 being combined with AI, and the statement that the data is new currency. I'm just doing a little bit of magic. I'd like the data to be cryptocurrency. I'd like to tokenize the data, which will actually solve the issue, combining the data sources with the ownership. We would be able to tie the monetization to that. We would be able to trace the sources of the data to that origins and the reward for the usage would become possible. So let's decentralize and monetize the data, especially because the incentivation as already the core, like incentivation and monetization is already you probably I don't know. There are sort of the it's very similar to the situation of how the ownership of the creative pieces is controlled traditionally. Remember, you own the photo. If you can demonstrate, you have the original raw materials of that. By connecting the original creative materials or the data uh, at the origination to NFT, we can fix the ownership of the data content piece and store it with the network evidence. There are now enough protocols allowing us to do so. There's a traditional ERC 721 and those tokens are already many tokens who are connecting the graphical and music information, and there are a lot of marketplaces. I mean, the current slide is just shows you the types. I'm not saying that the OpenSea is the only place. I'm just giving the examples for the various types of the content which can be NFTized. And there are already text NFT protocols you can check in Writing.io. And again, it's not the only one, but that's an example. And there are even marketplaces and ways to NFTize the uh, AI prompts. Check the prompt CIO. So any sort of the data can be converted to the trackable piece and published at the marketplace. And at this point, we can merge two concepts together: the tokenized data with the ownership tracking and the data mesh approach towards the big data sources. So, tokenizing and connecting the data on a meaningful way, we can achieve the desired state of the interconnected data with tracked ownership and monetization. And I was combining all these thoughts together in April. Also, making a proof of concept internally in my company, uh, trying to trace intellectual property creation effort from the sources and up to the point this intellectual property is being used and how much this being used. And and I was doing like in April, we're still doing that right now. And in May, I mean, last month, the Nokia have has published the announcement about interconnected and traced data marketplace, industrial data marketplace, uh, on the basis of blockchain. That's exactly what I'm speaking about. Look at the speed in which the adoption now like merges this. And I'm basically thinking that this actually, this data traceability, the traceability of data ownership and the monetization of the data would be the next big thing for the blockchain solutions, because that's where the money is. And that's which is connected nicely to the new hype of the AI. And well, commercial place, we already see the examples. Let's look at the public place. AI to earn concept. Again, in May, like late April, May, check the crypto GPT token. They recently renamed to the Layer AI. But that's exactly the same. That's the promise to return to the generic public the reward of AI using the content they've created. That's exactly the realization of concept I've been speaking about that now. And well, you're probably thinking like, because it's all happening exactly right now. You're probably thinking, okay, what's next? Where we should look next? Definitely, we will look to the data ownership tokenization in all possible sorts: industrial, like private permissioned, public permissionless, uh, We will definitely see uh, the extension of the NFT protocols and extension of the NFT use cases to accommodate to the rich variety of the digital assets, to the evolution of the digital assets. Remember, the data will also not stays intact. It can lose the value, gain the value in a course of the time. It can like the data formats can be very complex. Also, by by the desire to add semantic to the data storage, we will definitely see the algorithms of identifying the data. And here probably deeds and decentralized identifiers and verified credentials specification will come into the place, also combined when we are marking data, we are identifying the data, and we have the algorithms. We already have the protocol which can check the data ownership based on a decentralized identifier. Also, look into the commercial needs. It's definitely there would be the need to hide the parts of the data. And here, zero knowledge proofs and partial knowledge proof algorithms will play its logical role. So the merge with the NFT, ZKP, partial knowledge proof would be permissioning. Again, who can do that in a data operations? Who can like zero knowledge proof will take care of who can see what, and a permissioning will take care of who can do what. And definitely, on top of all of this, as always in crypto, we will see the rise of the commercial mechanisms. And there would be like the new commercial partners, new financial instruments. We now see AI to earn models. Uh, and definitely, like I do foresee that there would be quite some of the ownership economies, uh, and again, I think the good example of the complex data or the complex approach of the data would be prediction markets. And yeah, with that, I would probably close the main content part and would be happy to answer questions. Marta, do we have any questions? I'm stop sharing unless we need that. And
Okay.
moving my screen.
Thank you very much, Sasha, for the interesting presentation. Data ownership is very important and hot topic when it comes to the AI. For example, some time ago, the Italian Data Protection Authority temporarily banned the use of ChatGPT in Italy due to the privacy concerns, and also as a result, the OpenAI disabled access to the chatbot in Italy. There was also a theory that it was because the AI said that pineapple is great for pizza, but that's just one of the theories. But let's go back to the questions because we have some. First one, I agree that data ownership is going through a transformation and is becoming more and more important. But will an average user even care how the data is owned and processed? I mean, nowadays nobody pays attention to where his Instagram posts are stored, and when the Web3 finally comes, will it change anything in the average user's approach?
I do believe that it will change a lot when there would be a possibility for the users to earn money on their Instagram posts by others copying the content of that, using the content. I mean, you post on Instagram, you do the usual life, you post on TikTok, but you have the associated account to the Instagram. And when somebody uses the parts, like what uses the materials or parts of the materials, it will naturally send the money to your account. I think it will change a lot because the people are normally motivated by money movements. So if you can earn something by posting the nice content, I mean, everyone will become a blogger. Everyone would like to get paid for that, especially if we will reach the full Web3 concept where the users will be also asked to pay for some sort of the services. It means that you are paying and you are being paid. And you want to keep that in balance. You basically the minimal one you want, and you want to keep your account at zero while surfing internet or while consuming the services. And if you are like creative or something, you can probably earn much more. And that's the business. And I do believe that with the possibility to in like to start the business, to participate in a business for everyone, it will change a lot. It will change the perception people look at their content. I also believe that it probably will raise the quality of the content.
That's true,
From another
hopefully.
angle, like Marta, from another angle, it will also give people the possibility to choose between content you watch. When the content consumption and provisioning is decentralized, when you are not pushed the content somebody wants you to see, when you're choosing consciously yourself which content you're consuming, it will change not only this monetization stuff, it will change our perception of the data, our perception of the news. You would be able to choose your data sources, which is currently not existing thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. And also, I think that people could be motivated very much, as you said, but by the money, because sometimes am even like amazed, I would say, but what people post and put it like all publicly and don't even care. So maybe also they will think before posting, especially if it will, they could make money of it. So,
Well, there are
I have
quite some
another.
of the
Mhm.
legal aspect here because, I mean, everyone can post babies, like little kids can post
Yes.
too. And then again, all the monetization, I think like when you're asking what will change, like try to think about that in perspective. Like you're 5 years old is putting the content, and like 10 years old is putting the content, and probably like, I mean, it's all legal, people are watching that, and you're 5 years old suddenly earning money, probably earning more than you. Like, I mean, I'm speculating now. I'm just saying the size of the change is actually huge. And when we are connecting that again to the data sources, like what we were discussing so far, that's Web3. But my main topic is we are using AI more and more nowadays. Like almost literally, like everyone is created content based on other content. And if that will bring you revenue, that's actually motivates the good content to be created. And it also that's a new ways of the monetization. And that's the new approach that motivates the quality data. It motivates the good semantic over the data. And that's both commercial data and the public data, which means that it naturally motivates the data structuring. And this being decentralized, I mean, allowing everyone to contribute to that, it gives the huge movement to improve the data, have interconnected data set, which gives another possibility to new business services and to improve the businesses.
I totally agree. And out of it, I have another question like, how do you think will the mass adoption of generative AI affect the mass adoption of Web3?
Yes, definitely yes. Because, well, initially, like when I looked at this craziness where everyone is looking like, look at ChatGPT, use it, I said, like, okay, when this AI scrap all the internet and uses that for the commercial benefits, we will lose the speed in Web3 adoption. But looking at that deeper, I actually think that it would be the positive cycle because because of what I said, because of the possibilities of monetize, decentralize the data sets and monetize the data sets that will provoke the better and faster Web3 adoption. They basically first of all, they go along with this data ownership monetization, like with data monetization, but at the same time, the improvements on the AI side, they give decentralized solutions a new twist because you can have like you can now starting to think about the managed by AI solutions. And when you have the decentralized solution which stores data decentrally and having the management piece based on the data managed by artificial intelligence, you can create much better and much higher quality autonomous organizations, autonomous companies, autonomous solutions. You can easily remove the human beings from equations, which actually promotes the wider use, which is promotes, well, the drop of the prices of the common services. Like, well, think about the autonomous cars being managed by artificial intelligence. Think about autonomous libraries where you scan the books and all the logics behind the books and books repair is managed by artificial intelligence. Like all the information exists. It exists. You don't really need to have the humans there. So with this rise of the artificial intelligence, with the improving the data quality, of making the data again available and interconnected and indexed and all of this, we are entering the era of more autonomous solutions in every sort of the business, which, like, the possibility of that, the economical moments behind that, they will provoke the better Web3 adoption, I think. So I think they coexist together very nicely.
Okay, thanks a lot. And coming back to what you said about also this job professions and like people won't be not needed, I remember that I read some article that now people are searching very often in the internet, will my job profession will be taken by AI? Like now it's a bit, some people are scared that the profession may be taken by AI. But that was just my comment. And I have another questions because we are talking a lot about the data privacy, and you mentioned that the data is the new currency.
Guys, is it me? I don't hear Marta.
So I think we lost Marta. So just a second.
Alec, glad to see you.
Yes, we are backstage just doing all that processes and operations with the stream. And unfortunately, yeah, we lost Marta. And I think I can pick up the words at this point if needed. But I'm not sure if I lost the topic what you were discussing, but I see one question. That one is actually from me in the live chat, and it says something like, "I agree that data ownership is going through a transformation and is becoming more and more important. But will an average user ever care how their data is owned and processed?" I mean, nowadays nobody pays attention to where his Instagram posts are stored or anything else is stored. And when the Web3 finally comes, will it change anything in an average user's approach?
Alec, I answered this question already.
Yeah, and also
I
Okay.
sorry, I'm
Okay.
back.
So
Marta is back. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. It looks like maybe I don't know the
no
AI
problem.
wanted to cut me out. No, that's a bad joke. But
Okay. Yeah. Great.
I
So yeah,
already
yeah. The
asked.
floor is yours, Marta. I'm going backstage.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
so sorry. It was of course perfectly working, unless of course I'm in the talk. I don't know if you heard the question which I was asking you.
No,
Probably.
no.
Okay, I thought I was cut
It's
out.
cut in the
Okay, so
middle. I didn't understand what was asked. Yeah.
okay, sure. Sorry for that. So basically,
Mhm.
what I was asking, because you said that the data is the new currency, and so that's why I wanted to ask you: do you also mean that any content item should be registered as NFT?
In principle, yes. Any valuable content item. I mean, if you think that it can make sense, that's nice to register that as NFT. I also believe that it's difficult to answer this right now. We need to see how the data market will develop. We can check like in writing IO, which I was given as example, like deliberately given as an example of the text NFTs. And you can check right now, like one can check right now what actually being NFTized at this particular moment. And we will see the market develops, how those data is going to be consumed, how would be the rise of the ideas, how this data would be used. The same as with the big data, the same like where like 5 years ago, nobody really like everybody has like these terabytes of the data and nobody knew how to use that. And the approach of how to digest the data and how to use it emerges. The same will happen more and more. There are already certain ways to monetize the data to derive the value from that, and it would be bigger and bigger. And we will see how uh, and being incentivized economically, it will naturally adapt for what from what to create an NFT. Basically, if you can make value out of this, create an NFT. And in public space, or again in business space, it would be derived by natural economic motivation, which is a beauty of blockchain solutions, actually. So, but we can already see the good examples where, for example, near protocol, they NFTize now their accounts, and there is a possibility to turn your account into NFT and sell it and trade it. And that's the good example of this NFTization of everything, which is happening, which was this development of the idea of turning all sort of the content into NFTs. I'm curious to watch that, and I'm closely watching how it develops.
Yeah, for me it's a bit new. I'm just like was digging a bit and checking everything about this non-fungible tokens, but it's an interesting topic, and yeah, I think uh, I would be digging even more into that. I don't see, unfortunately, any comments or any questions, and I'm a bit surprised to be honest, because that's a very interesting topic. However, maybe there
That's
is
very new
anything you.
topic. That's a very new
Awesome.
topic. I mean, that's really, really at the edge. So all these new sort of NFTs, those data connections, the AI. I mean, we all started to use ChatGPT like a month ago, or probably 6 weeks ago nowadays. Yeah. So it's what happening right now. That's why we're speaking about that. That's kind of boring to speak of what happened a year ago. It's probably like well established, easy to talk about, but this one is a new concept, and a new concept of the combination, which we all need to watch. Like this is a blockchain professionals conference, guys. We are talking to the professionals, and I'm actually like what the whole my motivation to bring this very new topic, and I also was nervous to like presenting that because literally all the solutions that appear to be months ago, like they being thought right now. And that's actually again the another side of the motivation of me to speak about this is, guys, if you have ideas, if you have thoughts about that, you know where to find me. Let's talk, let's discuss, because it's definitely the fruitful to look at that. There are a lot of money behind. It's an interesting move, and I do believe that like bringing this topic to all of the blockchain professionals, we are trying to create the momentum. We are trying to create the discussion and basically progress that professionally further.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I will share also the links to your social media. So I guess the people can get in touch. I will, to be honest, do it now. So then everyone has your contacts also. And to be honest, I was also like, once I heard and read more about ChatGPT, I was also the one who went there, who went to try. I had some also like unsuccessful, I would say, cases when it give me not the real information. But I guess that's also the point, that you always should verify what you are getting as a bug from ChatGPT. GPT.
You can ask
Um,
ChatGPT to verify the information and provide you the sources. I mean, I would say for now, definitely there's a new technology. It's matures and matures, but it's already mature enough to be effectively used right now. And also, I mean, if you're unsatisfied with the first try and with the second try, well, my answer to my colleagues with whom I'm motivating actively to use that, and I'm going to lecture the topic to the kids next month, and I'm actually
cool.
saying, guys, read the manual. There are a lot of ways how you construct the prompts. How will you get what you need from ChatGPT? So that's in many cases the low quality of the information you get back is not because of the AI is not able. That's because you are shaping the prompt wrongly or not specified enough. So for all those who are satisfied, try that second, third, fourth time trying to get more wisdom in your prompt.
Yeah, I agree. I saw some training about like how to ask ChatGPT for getting the nice and well fitted training plan. And they were also like firstly they were just asking like give me the plan, but then when the prompt was very well designed, like act as a trainer and then like give me the sources like want to spend that much time, etc. Like everything was precise. Then the outcome was really nice. Like I was even impressed to be honest.
Basically, let me conclude all I was speaking about. And
Mhm.
because I was speaking about not about AI, there are other people, there are other specialists. I've been speaking about decentralizing and monetizing the data sources which is used for to fuel the AI, which is used for the basis of the AI trainings. And we all know now that the usage of the AI will only grow. This all LLMs that will nicely fit in every area we do, and making sure that the data they're using is rich, decentralized, and properly monetized will bring all of us a lot of benefits.
Yes,
And that was
thank
Sasha
you very
Pitkevich with her topic.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was me who went a bit in the different topics. But okay, guys, if you will later have a question, please leave them on the talk page, and Sasha will get back with the answers, and then you can find them on the talk page on the community page. Sorry. And of course, firstly, I would like to thank you, Sasha, for this insightful presentation. Thank you so much for organizing and hosting the event and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us today.
Guys,
And
that's a
also, thanks
pleasure.
everyone.
And thank you, Marta.
Yeah, sorry
Thanks
for
to
losing the
everyone who was
internet, but
with us. Yes. Thank you, everyone who was listening. Bye bye, guys.